Hello there, it's Francis again from Generational Wealth Academy. Now, basically today I am doing a video just to share my opinion or my thoughts on the topic of price action trading versus indicators. I personally do both. I do price action trading as well as use indicators and also teach it to my students as well. I am going to basically be running through some indicators that I use, and hopefully you know um, you might pick up a thing or two, as it were. Okay, this for instance, even as you can see at the bottom here, it's the MACD, the popular MACD. And on the main chart here, you can see fractals, this what looks like arrowheads, as it were. These are indicators, like I say, I use and teach my students to use. And it is the case that what most people who have something against using indicators say is that they do lag. Well, absolutely. As a matter of fact, they are known as, a lot of them are known as lagging indicators. However, I would say the fact that for one who is brand new to trading, I suppose you could say the best thing that could happen to them is to learn to trade price action. To learn to understand the candles. I would, however, say yes, that's true. But however, it is also the case that if they do learn how to trade with indicators, it's also a very good thing, because you find that a number of people who come into trading want to start making money straight away. And one of the things that they could learn to help them achieve that is basically indicators and how to use them. Like I said, this is the MACD and that is the fractal. I personally also have custom indicators, that is indicators that have been created specifically for me, aside, what comes as default indicators with the regular trading platforms like MT4. For instance, let's consider this candle. Where is it? Let's consider this huge candle. There was a move in the market. This is the 1 hour time frame. We see here, just this move, basically produced about 84 pips or so. Whereas, if you consider the other candles before it, they were a lot smaller. As a matter of fact, a lot of the candles, after it were a lot smaller than this huge move, this spike in the price. When I teach or when I trade using indicators, I definitely, would obviously, would have taken advantage of this huge move, knowing that the price was most likely going to carry on up. And you can see it did carry on up. I personally would have entered the trade. Could have perhaps taken 2 trades on here. I could have wanted to enter the trade halfway through this huge candle. It is the case. It is often the case that when there's a big move like that, it will most likely retrace before it carries on. And if I had put it on the 50% mark or halfway through the candle, you can see here it didn't quite touch it. So I would have obviously missed that trade. But something else I would have done is to first off enter a trade at the close of that candle, so that even if it retraced, it would have retraced by about 31 pips before obviously delivering potentially over 100 pips. So how would I have known that? Yes, I do have a custom indicator that alerts me when there's a huge move in the market like this, either to the upside or the downside. Those are some of the indicators that I use and obviously make available to my students. Now, the thing is, there are other indicators out there. This is another popular one. As you can see, there are moving averages on there. So you can see here, even from this trade, one obviously could have taken, entered, the trade, just when there is a crossover of the moving averages. So that obviously is another one. That is something that traders, whether new or experienced, can definitely use. Now, moving on to the next, this is an indicator or a trading system, I will call it, because it has a whole number of indicators there. This is obviously the Ichimoku Kinko Huey. That is the cloud. This is the Kinjun Sen, the Tinkin Sen, and of course the Chiku span. Obviously, I call it a system as opposed to an indicator, because you have like 4 different separate indicators that could be traded on their own. I could trade using just the Chiku span, or just the Tinkin Sen, or the Kinjun Sen, and of course the cloud, as is otherwise known, or the Kumo, even as the Japanese call it. So these are definitely very useful indicators. I mean, it is called at first glance, or basically, well, it's called at first glance, because when you look at a chart like this, you can straight away tell that the price is going up just by looking at the cloud. So obviously that is definitely one of the reasons why people would want to learn to trade using the Ichimoku group of indicators or system. Then of course we have the custom indicators. Like I said earlier on, the custom indicator basically that has been created specifically for myself. They basically alert me to potential setups that I could trade. And you can see here, with this white ball, which alerts me to buy. This would have been a beautiful trade. If I'd entered here, it would have gone all the way as high as over 380. Well, okay, that's basically about 380 pips, or if you like 38 points, as the case may be, on this trade alone. If I was using my other indicator, I would have been able to take advantage of this huge trade if I had only entered halfway through. Now, the one I showed you earlier on, it would not have worked, but with this one, it would have been spot on, because halfway through, the price did retrace to the halfway mark, and of course, carried on up. So these are the important. These are the reasons why we definitely do believe in teaching people how to use indicators. Now you can see this one, this is another custom indicator, which basically paints a head and shoulders pattern on the chart. If we had traded this one, for instance, this would have been a win, giving you 83 pips at least, or perhaps something more than that, over 100 pips, depending on when you entered. That was for a sell, and of course this was for a buy. You can see that these are super duper indicators, and like all of my indicators, they do not repent. So I would definitely say, my own opinion is that indicators are good. They do serve their own purposes, and of course price action as well. Now, considering this trade, for instance, you can obviously compare, you can also combine it with price action trading, even perhaps by just drawing a trend line and knowing when to enter the trade. You can see that with the trend line there, the price came down, and more or less where you have the trend line is where it took back off. That obviously is super. Now let's consider one more. Now this is obviously head and shoulders. I mean, I do trade it on using price action just by looking at it at a glance, but there are those who don't have trained eyes to spot them. Now let's consider this last one. Okay, not that one. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So we have this one, for instance, which is also very popular, harmonic patterns. This one is a bullish crab. So obviously with this, you are expecting, to trade it, to buy. Just imagine if you were to buy here and the price went as high as here, over 200 pips, or perhaps even if you went halfway, over 100 pips. People can definitely take advantage of that. Now, I did have one on US 30. You can see, this is a bullish bat. The initial one, or the first one, was a crab harmonic pattern. This is a bearish bat. You're banking on this coming all the way down. Super duper. So anyway, like I said, these are just my thoughts on the talk or the debate on whether it's best to use price action trading or just simply go with indicators. I would say if you can use both to your advantage, why not? Anyway, feel free to join my trading community on Telegram if you are not already a part of it, and find out how we could offer you some basic training for free, or perhaps offer you all the all or some of the resources we do have at our disposal, i.e. the indicators and all whatnot. Now this is obviously one that comes free on your MT4 platform, so definitely we'll show you how to plug it in and make use of it. Okay, I would speak to you in the next video. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are not already subscribed, and perhaps below this video you would find the link to joining our Telegram, where you can obviously be part of our trading community and begin to make more pips and profits. Okay, now, bye now.